Hello, beautiful Libra. There's a quiet shift moving through your world right now, and it may be far more important than it first appears. Someone successful, influential, and emotionally reserved has been thinking about you with a depth they can hardly explain to themselves. This is more than a horoscope message. It feels like a meaningful signal. And as June 14th and 15th unfold, something may begin moving from realization into clearer view. If you felt guided to click on this video, trust that feeling. Your presence here carries meaning, and the energy surrounding this moment feels connected to something larger than chance. Libra, this message stands apart because someone whose life looks polished and complete on the outside is beginning to recognize something deeper within themselves. The reason is not your appearance or anything you have tried to prove, but your energy, your emotional wisdom, and the steady presence you naturally bring. You have become a mirror they cannot easily look away from. When someone sees a truth they have avoided for a long time, it can create a mix of wonder, vulnerability, and a powerful attraction. This person, admired by many and comfortable in positions of influence, is starting to understand that success alone cannot answer the inner calling your presence awakens. Whether you realize it yet or not, you are already inspiring a shift in someone who once believed they had complete control over their path. What makes this so significant is that they were not drawn toward you because they had everything figured out. They were drawn toward you because your energy reveals something real. You reflect a truth that challenges old assumptions, and that is where your influence begins. Sometimes the people who seem strongest on the surface are the very ones most changed by authenticity. So let me ask you something, Libra. Have you ever met someone who appeared completely confident, yet something inside them seemed to awaken the moment they connected with you? Has anyone ever told you that your presence encouraged them to rethink what they believed about themselves or their lives? If that sounds familiar, you may already sense where this message is leading. If it doesn't, you may be closer to understanding than you think. Before we continue, I want to offer a sincere thank you. The time, attention, and openness you bring into these messages matter more than you know. Every like, every comment, and every new subscription helps strengthen the shared space, and your energy is an important part of it. You are seen, appreciated, and valued here. And if these messages continue to bring you clarity, comfort, or encouragement, you can support this work through the link in the description or the QR code on your screen. Every act of support helps keep these messages flowing and reaching the people who need them most. To everyone who has already supported this channel, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your kindness, generosity, and belief in this work help make these messages possible, and your energy is deeply appreciated. And Libra, I encourage you to stay with this message until the end, because what is unfolding goes beyond attraction alone. This is about alignment, personal growth, and the kind of transformation that cannot be measured by status, wealth, or appearances. It speaks to deeper truths about connection and the ways people inspire change in one another. So take a moment and check in with yourself. If something here resonates, even if you cannot fully explain why, leave a comment below and write, "I am ready to receive what's meant for me." Not because you are waiting passively, but because some part of you already recognizes that the timing feels right. Let's go deeper. There's something powerful moving through the energy around you right now, Libra. It feels familiar in a strange way, as though something long in motion is finally beginning to reveal itself. You may not see clear evidence of it yet, but beneath the surface, important pieces are quietly coming together. What once felt distant or uncertain is starting to move closer to understanding. As June 14th and 15th approach, the emotional atmosphere carries a sense of openness and growing clarity. This is the kind of energy that encourages you to pay attention to what you feel before you try to explain it. Instead of demanding answers, it invites awareness. And for you, Libra, that awareness reaches beyond your own heart and touches someone else's as well. Someone who has been observing you with both admiration and a lingering sense of curiosity. The energy surrounding these days creates a meaningful balance between softness and responsibility, between emotional honesty and the structures people build around themselves. Your ruling planet, Venus, highlights themes of connection, beauty, and harmony, while a more grounded influence encourages deeper reflection. Together, they create a powerful invitation to move beyond appearances and into something more authentic. This is not about surface attraction. It is about understanding what truly matters. For that reason, this period carries a depth that cannot be reduced to simple chemistry. Something meaningful is rising from within, and you may be the catalyst. Someone who seems accomplished, respected, and secure is beginning to recognize a missing piece in their own life, not because of anything dramatic you have done, but because your presence reflects a kind of truth they cannot ignore. You embody qualities that cannot be manufactured or purchased. Calm without control, wisdom without performance, and peace that comes from genuine alignment. When people encounter that kind of authenticity, it often reveals where they have been relying on image rather than substance. Your energy doesn't create the imbalance, it simply helps others see it more clearly. This is why the connection feels so significant. It is less about need and more about growth. Sometimes people are brought into one another's lives because they inspire a deeper level of awareness. While that process can feel uncomfortable at first, it often creates the conditions for lasting transformation. Real change rarely begins with perfection. It begins with recognition. The person being affected by your presence is not accustomed to this experience. They are more familiar with influencing situations than being influenced by them. That is why your energy may feel disruptive from their perspective. Yet what appears to be a disruption could actually be a long-awaited recalibration, a chance to reconnect with something more genuine and meaningful. Many people ask for change while hoping it arrives in a form that feels easy. Life often works differently. Growth tends to arrive through truth, and truth has a way of illuminating what has been overlooked. Libra, your boundaries, your self-respect, and your refusal to compromise your worth are quietly awakening something important in another person. Not because you are trying to change them, but because you are fully being yourself. The symbolism surrounding this message reinforces that theme. It speaks of someone familiar with achievement and influence, yet still searching for deeper fulfillment. It points toward emotional restlessness beneath outward success, and a growing realization that balance matters just as much as accomplishment. It is a reminder that no foundation feels complete when genuine connection is missing from it. What you are creating extends beyond emotion alone. Your presence encourages reflection, awareness, and a shift in perspective. Even if these days do not bring dramatic conversations or obvious declarations, something meaningful is already taking shape. You are reflecting not who someone pretends to be, but who they truly are underneath it all. So if you have sensed a subtle shift lately, a feeling that someone is noticing you on a deeper level, trust that instinct. Transformation often begins quietly before it becomes visible. A small movement can become a powerful wave over time. Continue honoring who you are, because your authenticity may be exactly the influence someone has been seeking without realizing it. When a person encounters someone with your level of self-respect and emotional balance, their entire understanding of connection can begin to change. This is especially true for someone who has spent years relying on control or carefully managed relationships. Your authenticity is not only attractive, it encourages a deeper awakening that can no longer be ignored. And this is where the deeper meaning of the story begins to reveal itself. The truth is, this person was not drawn into your energy because they were consciously searching for love. At least not in the way people usually imagine it. They were drawn towards something they could not fully explain. Something their achievements, status, and carefully built image had never been able to provide. In your presence, they begin to recognize an absence they have carried for much longer than they realized. What unsettles them is how naturally you reflect that truth back to them. When you move through life with sincerity, calm confidence, and a strong sense of fairness, you embody qualities that cannot be purchased, performed, or controlled. You do not simply capture their attention, you encourage a deeper level of self-awareness. Your presence shines a light on parts of their life they have rarely examined with honesty. Some people might describe a connection like this as destiny or instant soul recognition. In reality, it is often more complex than that. Libra, you are not a reward waiting at the finish line of someone else's journey. You represent a moment of choice, a point where growth becomes possible if a person is willing to meet themselves truthfully. For someone accustomed to relationships built around expectations, influence, or exchange, your energy feels entirely different. You stand firmly in your own value without needing to prove it. There is a quiet strength in the way you show up, a message that says, "I see who you are, and I remain fully myself." That quality carries more power than many people realize. Ironically, that is exactly what this person may need most. Yet growth often arrives with discomfort before it brings clarity. What makes this connection so impactful is not that you are difficult to reach, but that you cannot be defined, controlled, or possessed. Your emotional independence, your boundaries, and your ability to care deeply while remaining true to yourself challenge everything they have learned about connection. Their first reaction may not be immediate acceptance. Sometimes people feel uncertain when they encounter something genuine after spending years relying on familiar patterns. It is not because there is anything wrong with you. It is because you represent a version of connection that asks for honesty, vulnerability, and authenticity. At the heart of this experience is a simple truth. Real connection exists beyond roles, conditions, and appearances. It invites people to remove the masks they have worn and meet each other more openly. For this person, the difficult realization is not the possibility of losing you. It is recognizing that to truly connect with you, they must become more honest with themselves. That is why your presence feels unforgettable. You are not memorable because you fit neatly into their expectations. You are memorable because you inspire them to question those expectations entirely. You become a mirror that reflects what is real rather than what is convenient, and that kind of reflection can change a person's perspective forever. If you've ever felt that others projected their fears or insecurities onto you simply because you were genuine, this message may feel familiar. If people have called you intense, overly honest, or difficult to understand, it may be because your authenticity encourages deeper reflection in those around you. Not everyone is prepared for that experience, and that is perfectly okay. In a world that often rewards appearances, continue being the clear water that reveals what is true. Continue honoring your standards, your values, and your sense of balance. When someone feels challenged by your authenticity, it does not mean you should make yourself smaller. More often, it is a sign that you are standing firmly in alignment with who you are meant to be. And the people who are truly aligned with your energy will recognize that. They will not be intimidated by your honesty or your independence. They will rise to meet the standard of connection you naturally embody. If this message speaks to you, take a moment to reflect and share your experience in the comments. Have you ever noticed someone pulling back simply because you were honest, authentic, or free to be yourself? Let this be a place where your energy is acknowledged and appreciated. You are not chaos entering someone's life. You are the calm presence that helps others recognize what has been out of balance. That is a rare and meaningful gift. Life often communicates through quiet signs that many people overlook. Yet Libra, your natural sense of balance and awareness makes you especially sensitive to those subtle messages. You often feel a shift before you can explain it, sensing movement beneath the surface long before it becomes visible. Maybe it arrives as a repeating number that catches your attention again and again. Maybe it comes through a dream that stays with you long after morning arrives. Maybe it feels like a gentle inner knowing that refuses to fade. These moments are not random. They are reminders that your deeper wisdom is always guiding you toward greater clarity, alignment, and understanding. As these energies continue to build around June 14th and 15th, the signs may begin to feel more noticeable. Libra, maybe you keep seeing 222 when you're reflecting on an important relationship, 444 when you're searching for stability or reassurance, or 8888 when you're wondering whether a new chapter is ready to unfold. These moments could feel small, yet they often arrive with perfect timing. They serve as gentle reminders that there is meaning behind what is taking shape. The energy of 242 encourages balance, harmony, and trust in the connections that truly align with your heart. The appearance of 444 speaks to strong foundations, inner stability, and the support available to you even when you cannot fully see it. Then there is 8888, a number connected with expansion, growth, and the opening of new possibilities. None of these signs are meant to create fear or uncertainty. They are meant to help you remember that your path is unfolding in its own perfect rhythm. The deeper message here is not about predicting the future. It is about recognizing that your experiences carry purpose. Even moments that seem confusing can hold valuable guidance when viewed through a wider lens. What feels uncertain today may actually be preparing you for greater clarity tomorrow. The symbolism surrounding this period points strongly toward intuition. It speaks of a rich inner world filled with wisdom that already knows more than your logical mind can explain. Rather than searching everywhere else for answers, you are being encouraged to listen more closely to your own inner voice. Sometimes the guidance you need has been present all along, waiting for a moment of stillness to be heard. Trusting yourself becomes especially important when change begins to emerge. Yes, emotional shifts may be taking place. Yes, perspectives may be evolving. Yet this process does not need to feel overwhelming. When you move with awareness instead of resistance, transformation often feels less like loss and more like freedom. Think about those moments that seem perfectly timed. A message arrives just as you are ready to move on. A familiar name appears after months of silence. A brief encounter leaves an unexpected impression. These experiences are not necessarily random. They can serve as invitations to pay attention to what is resonating within you. The universe often works through patterns rather than dramatic announcements. If a person, idea, or feeling continues returning to your awareness, there may be a reason it still holds significance in your growth. That does not mean you must react immediately. It simply means remaining open enough to notice what is asking for your attention. Another layer of this energy highlights the importance of love and spiritual awareness. Certain numbers may appear repeatedly on receipts, clocks, addresses, or dates, reminding you to stay present. When that happens, pause for a moment and breathe. Sometimes those small reminders arrive simply to help you reconnect with yourself. As you move through everyday responsibilities, conversations, work, family matters, and everything else competing for your attention, create a little space for quiet. Even a few minutes of stillness can make a difference. That is often where clarity arrives, where intuition becomes stronger, and where deeper understanding begins to settle. You do not have to force what is meant for you. You only need to create enough room for it to enter your life naturally. Many meaningful opportunities begin in moments that seem ordinary at first. A pause, a conversation, a glance, or a feeling can become the doorway to something much greater than expected. So remain open to what is unfolding. Stay grounded in who you are. What appears small today may eventually reveal itself as an important turning point. There comes a stage in every person's journey when the lesson is no longer about earning love, proving worth, or chasing validation. Instead, the lesson becomes embodying those qualities from within. Libra, this message is guiding you toward that realization. After everything we have explored, the growing awareness, the impact of your presence on someone else's perspective, and the signs encouraging you forward, the truth begins to feel much clearer. You were never meant to be treated as something to possess, fix, or place on a pedestal. You are meant to be met with honesty, respect, and emotional alignment. Not everyone understands how to approach connection in that way, which is why this experience carries so much meaning. For someone accustomed to environments where control feels safe and affection is tied to expectations, encountering a person like you can feel transformative. It can be inspiring, exciting, and even a little intimidating. What you offer is not a formula for winning your approval. You're reflecting something much deeper back to them, an invitation to experience connection without control and love without domination. As beautiful as this idea may sound, genuine connection asks for something many people find challenging: complete honesty with themselves. Before someone can truly offer healthy love, they often have to release the habits, fears, and patterns that have shaped the way they connect with others. That is why your boundaries matter so much, Libra. They are not barriers designed to keep people out. They are sacred points of entry that help define what kind of love can grow in your life. You are not asking for too much when you expect emotional maturity. You are not being unreasonable when you choose not to settle for attention that comes with conditions attached. What you are creating is a space where connection can develop from sincerity rather than fear, manipulation, or ego. That kind of foundation requires strength, patience, and trust in your own value. Part of that strength comes from resisting the urge to explain your worth to people who are not yet ready to recognize it. It means maintaining your standards even when someone expresses interest but has not yet reached the level of emotional readiness required for a meaningful connection. Your purpose is not to convince anyone that you deserve love. Your purpose is to remember that your worth already exists, whether others recognize it immediately or not. There is a simple truth at the heart of this message. The people who are genuinely aligned with your energy do not need to be chased. They naturally move toward what resonates with them. When someone is ready for the kind of connection you offer, your independence, honesty, and clarity will not feel threatening. Instead, those qualities will inspire them to grow and meet you on equal ground. Not because you demanded it, not because you changed yourself to make it easier, but because something within them recognizes the value of what stands before them. Growth becomes their choice. For those who are unable or unwilling to meet you in that space, your responsibility is not to repair them. Your role is to remain steady in your own truth. Sometimes the most loving action is allowing people to experience the results of their choices, rather than continually explaining what they refuse to understand. Think of yourself as a doorway, not a closed one, and not one that is difficult to reach, but a meaningful entrance into something real. Some people may hesitate because authenticity asks more of them than they expected. Others may try to force their way through with old habits and familiar patterns. Yet the person who truly belongs in your life will approach with respect, openness, and a willingness to leave unnecessary baggage behind. That is where genuine connection begins. Real love does not ask you to abandon yourself. It encourages you to become even more connected to who you truly are. If someone's attention consistently leaves you feeling uncertain, diminished, or disconnected from your own peace, there may be a deeper lesson asking to be understood and healed. And through that healing, you reclaim more of your power. Libra, let this be a reminder that you do not need to become smaller in order to be accepted. You do not need to perform, prove, or reshape yourself to be worthy of being chosen. Your value comes from the truth of who you are, and that truth carries its own quiet strength. Your spirit was never meant to hide behind a mask. It was meant to reflect authenticity. You are not here to serve as someone's challenge or obstacle. You are often the answer to questions they have avoided asking themselves. And if a connection is truly meant to grow, the other person will be willing to do the inner work necessary to meet you there. Until then, stay rooted in your worth. You are not here to be controlled or possessed. You are here to be respected, appreciated, and genuinely valued. There is something powerful about the moment we stop chasing and begin allowing ourselves to receive. Libra, you may already sense that shift taking place. You have felt the movement in the energy around you. You have noticed the impact your presence creates, and now you find yourself standing before an important doorway. This doorway does not lead outward. It leads inward, because the deeper question is not whether love is finding its way toward you. The deeper question is whether you have created enough space within yourself to welcome it when it arrives. That is where intentional practices can become meaningful, not because the universe requires rituals in order to hear you, but because they help you reconnect with your own clarity. They create an opportunity to hear your true voice, the one beneath fear, impatience, and old disappointments, the voice that still remembers exactly who you are. When a ritual is approached with genuine intention, it becomes less about the ritual itself and more about bringing your heart into alignment with what you are ready to welcome. It is a way of communicating clearly with yourself and signaling that your desires are no longer clouded by uncertainty. During this period of growing clarity, simple practices can help you reconnect with what truly matters. The goal is not to force an outcome, but to strengthen your relationship with your own inner knowing. For example, lighting a pink, white, or even a soft lavender candle can become a meaningful act of presence. The candle is not important because of symbolism alone. It creates a quiet focal point that helps soften the distractions of the day and encourages you to slow down. In that moment, you are choosing awareness over pressure and intention over urgency. The same idea applies to affirmations. Writing them down is not about creating magic through words on a page. It is about bringing your beliefs into conscious focus and giving them a place in your physical reality. When you write, "I am not chosen, I am the one who chooses. I attract what is aligned with my soul," you are doing more than wishing. You are making a clear declaration about who you are becoming. That distinction matters. Hope often waits for circumstances to change. Alignment begins by changing the way you relate to yourself. You might also choose to place a glass of water nearby as part of this quiet practice. Water has long been associated with reflection, intention, and emotional awareness. As you sit peacefully with your thoughts, your affirmations, and your intentions, you create space for your inner wisdom to settle. The water becomes a simple reminder to remain receptive and present. Those few minutes of stillness are not empty moments. They are opportunities to step away from worries about the future and stories from the past. When your attention returns to the present moment, clarity often becomes easier to access. Many meaningful shifts begin there. People often ask when love will arrive, but there is another question that may be even more important. Who are you becoming as you prepare to receive it? The answer to that question influences everything. When you begin living from a place of self-worth and emotional readiness, your energy naturally becomes more inviting and magnetic. This is the deeper principle behind attraction. It is less about imagination and more about alignment. What you consistently embody tends to shape the experiences you invite into your life. I once heard a story from someone who committed to writing affirmations every morning for 21 days. The purpose was not to bring another person back. The purpose was to reconnect with herself. By the end of those 21 days, the most meaningful change was not what happened around her, but what had changed within her. Interestingly, a relationship she thought had ended eventually reappeared in a healthier form. Yet what mattered most was not the other person's return. What mattered was that she had become more aligned with herself. The external shift reflected an internal one. That is the heart of this message. It is not about forcing love, earning approval, or proving your worth. It is about choosing each day to align your thoughts, actions, and energy with the version of yourself that already understands your value. Whether a particular person reaches out or whether a meaningful opportunity appears during these days, the purpose of your practice remains the same. It is about reclaiming your ability to receive without fear, to express your truth with confidence, and to embody love without waiting for permission from anyone else. So let me gently ask you something. Would you be willing to try a simple moment of reflection tonight? Not for a result, but for yourself. If you feel that quiet sense of readiness rising within you, allow it to be acknowledged. Write US in the comments and let your voice become part of that shared intention. When clarity meets commitment, life often responds in ways we never expected. Libra, if you have stayed with this message to this point, I want to acknowledge something important. You have not only been listening with your mind, you have been listening with your heart. Everything we've explored together points toward a deeper truth about self-worth, personal power, and your ability to shape your life through conscious choices. You are not waiting on the sidelines for someone else to choose you. You are not merely a supporting character in another person's transformation. You are the mirror, the invitation, and the movement itself. When someone is genuinely aligned with your energy, they will recognize it without needing to be persuaded. You do not have to hide your sensitivity in order to be loved. You do not have to appear stronger than you feel in order to earn respect. Your purpose is not to become less of yourself. It is to become more fully who you already are. That includes honoring your needs, trusting your boundaries, and remaining connected to your truth, even when others are still finding their way toward theirs. Healthy love never asks you to leave yourself behind. So if your heart has felt heavy lately, start by caring for yourself with the same kindness you offer everyone else. Pay attention to your rest, your nourishment, and your overall well-being. Small acts of self-care can have a powerful impact, not only physically but emotionally and energetically as well. And if you have been questioning your direction in work, finances, or personal goals, perhaps these days are inviting you to explore new possibilities with curiosity rather than fear. You may be surprised by how far a creative opportunity, a healing journey, or a new direction can take you when it aligns with your natural Libra strengths. Your gifts have always been rooted in balance, empathy, beauty, and the ability to bring harmony into the spaces you touch. Those qualities are more powerful than you may realize. When you allow them to guide your choices, new possibilities often begin to open naturally. And when it comes to love, remember this: you were never meant to chase what is truly meant for you. Genuine connection does not require force, pressure, or constant pursuit. What is aligned with your heart has a way of meeting you with honesty, clarity, and mutual effort. Let truth guide your decisions and let authenticity lead the way instead of fear or urgency. If you would like to support your energy during this period, consider surrounding yourself with colors that reflect the themes of clarity, balance, and self-worth. Lavender can encourage inner peace and emotional calm. Soft blue supports communication, understanding, and meaningful connection. Rose gold reflects self-value, confidence, and the gentle reminder that your worth exists independently of anyone else's approval. Let these colors remind you of both who you are and who you are becoming, not because someone else confirms it, but because a deeper part of you already knows. Growth often begins with that quiet, inner recognition. I know life can feel busy. I know it can be difficult to remain hopeful when results seem slower than expected. Yet one of the most important things to remember is that progress does not always arrive in dramatic ways. Sometimes the most meaningful changes are already unfolding long before they become visible. Like a flower preparing to bloom, growth often begins beneath the surface before it reveals itself to the world. Keep showing up for yourself. Keep creating space for what feels genuine, healthy, and aligned. The energy you are cultivating matters more than you may realize. Even if recognition has not arrived yet, your efforts have not gone unnoticed. The right people, the right opportunities, and the right experiences are naturally moving closer to the version of you that continues choosing growth. What is aligned with your light is finding its way toward you. Before we finish, I want to sincerely thank you for spending this time here. Thank you for your presence, your openness, and your willingness to explore these messages with an open heart. Every like, every comment, and every subscription helps support this space and allows these conversations to reach others who may need encouragement and guidance as well. Your support carries meaning, and it is deeply appreciated. So let me leave you with one final invitation. If this message resonated with you, if you felt understood, supported, or inspired, leave a comment below and write, "I am ready to walk into my truth." Let those words become your personal affirmation. Let them represent your willingness to move forward with clarity, confidence, and self-respect. And if you have not already done so, please like this video, share it with someone who may need this message, and subscribe to continue this journey with us. And if these messages continue to bring you comfort, clarity, or encouragement along your path, you can support the channel through the link in the description or the QR code on your screen. Every act of support, no matter the size, helps keep this space growing and allows these messages to reach more hearts that may need them. Your kindness, generosity, and presence mean more than words can express. Thank you for being part of this journey. Libra, your path is not random. Your presence matters. Your energy carries purpose. And what is truly aligned with you is already moving into place. Move forward with grace, trust, and courage. I'll see you in the next message.